so weird not having intro music. I edit in the intro music, so it's like I don't have a cue. It's so weird. I just gotta start talking. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the MTG Rebellion Rebelcast. I believe this is episode 19. Oh, I might be wrong on that one. I'll have to edit that in later. But I'm live with myself, of course, Max Damage All Nights, Turtlebox, and Optimal MTG. And these three, including myself, we're here today because we got to participate in what is now called the streamer event, if I'm understanding it correctly. But anyway, used to be called, formerly known as early access, still early access, for Wilds of Eldraine, a set that we're going to give our general impressions on. We're going to talk about specific decks that we played with, and on the way to that, perhaps pick out some favorite cards, some hot takes on cards that are favorites that may not be so hot once set releases. I don't know what takes we have in store. We'll see in just a minute. But first off, I just want to say thank you to Wizards. Thank you to the Arena Dev team for giving us all this opportunity to participate in the event. And that I think in general it was a success. I think it exposed people to the set. I think it did exactly what it achieved, what it set out to achieve. And I think it was in general a good thing. And I hope they keep carrying these out in such a manner. I know there are a lot more content creators on this one than in the past, but you know, I think that's fine because you have to populate the drafts, you have to populate the queues, so I totally understand that decision. I totally agree with the community going wider. I'm here with Optimal MTG. I'm gonna ask you first just a quick question. First of all, what did you play more of? Did you play like limited, or did you play constructed in the play queue? And you know, what were your general, you know, how did you feel about being a part of the early access? Was it your first?
This was my second.
Your second? Okay.
Yeah, because I started off with the Lord of the Rings one on Arena.
So how did you feel about the event in general?
It was a lot of fun. Just like the first time, I enjoyed it a lot. Just being able to see the new cards, play around with them. It was unfortunate that there were a bunch of people playing with Shieldred. Yeah, and like one new Wild of Eldraine card, making it look like that it's new cards. But I tried my best to mess around with some decks that had no Shieldreds in them, no like overly used cards that currently exist in Standard. Tried to make it like a lot more fresh. So I know that you and I played against each other a couple of times.
Yeah.
I had that self-mill deck with the Urborg Lorgoyf.
Love saying that word.
The new Urborg Lorgoyf. The new, what's it called? Cacophony? The colorless black star. Its power type is equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard.
Yeah.
And doing stuff like that, just a bunch of self-mill, putting down also, what's it called? It's 6 in a black, 5/5 with Death Touch that costs 1 less.
Oh, the zombie mass. I forget what it's actually called, but the mass. Yeah.
I've drafted a bunch of times. Withered something. I don't remember what the last name is, but that was a fun one. There was also there was a teamer combo deck with the new artifact Cauldron, the Cauldron that exiles cards from graveyards, and then if it's a creature, you get to put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control, and then creatures will put 1/1 counters on them. Gain all the active abilities of all the creatures that are underneath the Cauldron. That was a lot of fun too. So you have the new 4 red dragon that has a colorless red, deal 1 damage target creature or player, and which has bargain. And then you also have the Kami that from it's from the what's it called? March of the Machines. That you could tap, make X mana based on its power, but anytime a 1/1 counter goes onto a permanent you control, it doubles the counter, or it adds +1. And then you had there was the artifact creature. It's the 9 mana, but can cost blue, but it has 3 colorless on tap. But you also played the new fairy that has the blue 3/3 flyer, the Sleep Cursed Fairy, that is colorless blue on tap. So basically, as long as you put an on tap active ability and the dragon ability underneath the cauldron, then whatever creature you have gains those abilities, and you can pretty much just tap on tap, tap on tap, tap on tap, just make a ton of mana and all that other stuff, and then ping your opponent to death. That's what I was trying to do. You kept killing all my creatures.
Yeah, for everybody who's curious, and you want to see all these cards in action, I'm actually putting up my early access experiences on YouTube, 3 separate videos, and that's going to include some of my matches with Optimal. But I think the deck you're talking about is the Teamer deck, Teamer combo.
Yeah, okay. I got to go off once against someone, but then it just fell apart because you were reliant on trying to hit the Falaji.
Okay.
Blue 0/4.
You're talking about totally different
play. Card. You move 4 cards. Yeah, and make
Falaji Archaeologist.
Falaji Archaeologist. Thank you, Turtlebox.
So, yeah, so basically, you just play a couple of those. You build a bunch of cards to the graveyard. Hopefully, you mill, the pieces of the combo. Play the cauldron, exile those pieces, and then just pop off.
Okay.
But it's a lot of hoops, but it's sweet when it goes off. It seems like a typical. It would seem like a saffron olive.
A very Timmy deck, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played against Saffron running a version of this deck. Teamer combo deck, and it was I did not realize what his build was because we had built it at the start of the stream and then not played standard. Went into standard. He was running a version with Triska Decaphile. And his entire engine was just drawing cards to draw to get the alternate win con off Triska Decaphile. And if I hadn't, was it just what?
Was it just blue-green Simic?
I think it might have been Teamer. I don't remember, and I haven't looked at his content after the event. But if I had not realized, I have a strong hatred for Triska Decaphile. It's one of my least favorite cards. If I had not realized he was playing it and just knew what it does, it absolutely would have comboed off. I think that version of the deck is going to catch players off guard. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
Because it draws both players. Like, both players are drawing cards, and you're like, oh, okay, this loser is letting me draw cards. LOL. What an awful thing to do. And then you're like, oh, wait, Triska Decaphile is in that deck.
Other than that, though, I got to play 1 seal and 1 draft. I had a blue-red seal deck. Didn't do too well with it, but it was interesting. I feel like for blue, there's a lot of sorcery speed spells, which kind of messes with your ability to be more tempo-like. So I don't know how I feel about that color in Wilds of Eldraine at the moment, but I had a draft and I went green-white, and I was just trying to do like tons of food, play Griffin Airy, the enchantment in the special card list section of the set. So just anytime at the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 life this turn, you make a 2/2 flying Griffin. So I had like 2 of those in my deck. So I was like hoping to draw 1 of them.
Griffin Airy.
Just keep cracking food and just make an aerial army and kill them. And then there was the what's also sweet is the Knight of the Sweet's Revenge. There's a 3 and a green enchantment. Comes into play, you make a food. Then all your foods can tap for green. And then it has 5 colorless green. Sacrifice Knight of Sweet's Revenge. And all your creatures gain +X for where X is the number of foods you control. Plus trample? I think it gives trample. But it makes everything big bodies and it's wild.
Very cool. I just to bank off that, I had a limited experience where it was like I went with Golgari roll, mainly roll cards that gave rolls, and then cards that sacrificed to pay for stuff. So a little bit of bargain. It was actually a little bit of everything because there were some good adventure cards in there, like the Wicked, the Witch, the 3-drop Witch that gives a roll on the adventure side, and then is a menace body, a 2/3 menace body on the flip side. That was fun to play with. I thought I was doing really well, and then my last 3 matches were just against like these aggro decks, so it did not work out. But I went 5-3. I think that's kind of a success. I kind of suck at limited, especially in new sets with no guidance. Like I'm just kind of flying blind. But
so rough.
Yeah.
Without.
Turtlebox, did you play limited at all? Did you play more constructed or more limited? What did you play?
I played 31 games of constructed and I want to say 12 or 13 sealed runs and then 0 draft. For some reason, I just forgot to play draft. And I didn't realize that till I think the morning after. Someone was like, "Oh, like what did you draft? Like, did you draft the practice for the pre-release?" And I was like, "No, I did sealed, or not draft the practice for the pre-release, but draft the practice for like game day." I was like, "Oh no, I did not. I played sealed for the pre-release," and then I realized I didn't play a single game of draft. But I don't know. I feel like sealed's a lot more fun this time around. Usually, with how the bonus sheets are, sealed ends up being not fun because it's kind of just like, at least in early access, people would just re-roll to get good bonus sheet pools for sealed, but this time around, all the bonus sheet cards feel really balanced. So I kind of just got lost in how fun sealed was this time around. Standard's awful. Standard wasn't much fun at all. It's a lot of Shieldred still.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that because I know you made a few comments during early access about it. What was going on? What was the percentage of people just playing sheltered decks? What were they playing it with? Why do you think that happened?
Hold on, I have an exact number for you, which is it's so rare that I have an exact number. Obviously, I think. Let me answer the question: why was everyone playing Shieldred first? I think because you can't not play Shieldred. I think what ends up happening is this is the wrong Discord. I think what ends up happening is like if you're not playing Shieldred, at least in like these more aggressively tuned mid-range decks. Okay, here's the statistic. 81 games of constructed, Shieldred and Beseech. I guess we'll talk about Beseech in a second. They were both played 34 out of 81 games together in like the same decks. That's absurd. That is what, just over 30%, and that's in an early access best of one like setting where people shouldn't be encouraged. And nobody was really encouraged to play Shieldred. We all just kind of understood, like, well, shit, if I'm not running Shieldred, the deck I'm running is just going to get walled and tempoed out by Shieldred. And then not only are there 4 Shieldreds to worry about, but Beseech the Mirror, right? That's what the card's called.
Yeah,
that card just kind
Beseech
of
the Shieldred.
Yeah, that card is just 4 extra copies of Shieldred, which is absolutely insane. There's really nothing you can do about it. It's a shame.
It's wild to me.
But limited's fun. It's like having Diabolic 2 insane. In Alchemy, most of the time you just beseech for the 1 ring, is what I was seeing. But in Standard, I think the best target is just always going to be Shieldred.
Okay.
They're just so good.
Yeah. That's wild. That they would print Beseech at a time like this. I think they would have done really well to do something about Shieldred, right? Like I don't know where I fall in that line of what was more bannable, Meat Hook, Shieldred, or Invoke Despair. Out of the 3 of those,
I think Shieldred. There's never a reason to invoke or to ban Invoke. I think people who wanted Invoke banned were on the lower end of the skill ceiling. Shieldred, Shieldred's just. I don't even think Shieldred's broken. I just think it's, you have a card that's seeing that much play in like best of 3 constructed, and then you bring it into like an invite only Wizards of the Coast sponsored event, and 31 out of 81 players are all running the same 8 cards, Beseech the Mirror at 4 copies and Children at 4 copies. I don't know, something's going on there.
Yeah,
it's a little obnoxious.
Yeah. And I was just getting irritated because I was trying to play, like, I don't know, what was I trying to play that was like not a Shieldred deck? Demir Fairies was really hard to play into Shieldred. Abzan Legends was hard to play. Golgari mid-range. Temur combo was okay because we were running a little more counters. Esper Auras was impossible. And Boros Burn, I don't know, in best of one. Any burn deck's just going to be better than any other not burn deck in best of one, but
yeah, it just doesn't breed innovation, right? So right. It's like you're kind of the whole point, right? The whole point of early access is to kind of innovate to a degree, but just playing one of the best cards that currently exists in Standard that everybody's already in grown mode over, and pairing it with 4 tutors that just goes and grabs it,
and it's like.
It's like, look, innovation. It's like, it's not innovation. You're just adding cards that already go with this card.
And then even with decks like Sultai Self-Mill, when you have Withering Necromass at the top end, like I would still rather have a Shieldred than a Withering Necromass. And Withering Necromass is like, what, usually free in that deck? Like I would rather have a 4 CMC Shieldred than a 1 CMC 5/5 zombie giant with that touch.
Yeah, Shieldred's better. Good. Shieldred's better than Tolarian Terror, you know. So like we already have Tolarian Terror.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah, I agree. Well, not to beat the horse dead, because we all hate Shieldred when it comes to like this specific context of a invite only event, limited pool of players. Like, come on, and it was specified at the very beginning, not specifically maybe as a rule, but kind of like, you know, a courtesy. Extend to your opponents is to not crush them, because it's all about showcasing the set, showcasing new cards, new strategies. So yeah,
this was the first I've played, I'm gonna say like 7 or 8 early access events, and this was the first one where I was ever like, damn, that card makes me not want to keep playing.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks to see that.
Now we don't even know what's good. Like Blossoming Tortoise could be the best card in Standard right now, and we will not know because another 4 CMC monocolor card is just leagues above in terms of playability.
Yeah, I agree.
We have another full year of Shieldred to go.
Yep.
So I don't think there's going to be any emergency banning for Shieldred in the months to come. So kind of gotta weather the storm here.
What gets me about this, the worst thing about it is that it forces the meta to the standard meta to shift more towards control or tempo, and that's not always fun, especially for long periods of time. So I hope that one of my predictions I've been making over the past month doesn't come true, which is that the closer we get to rotation, the more control is going to take over the meta. But yeah, that's a little bit doomsday. Anyway, I have up on the screen for the viewers at home what I ran with in Sultai Self-Mill. So you guys can get all these deck lists from my personal Aether Hub account. I posted all of mine. I know Turtlebox posted all of theirs as well. What did you post yours to, TB?
Also Aether Hub.
Also Aether Hub, cool. And then Optimal, did you have any lists that you posted up, or did you just kind of play whatever was around?
Yeah, I didn't post anything up.
Okay.
I looked around, tried to find some lists that intrigued me, and then just kind of copy pasted and try to have some fun with them.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, honestly. That's the best way to do it. So. Yeah. Even in this list here, like I've got Jund Value that I'm about to talk about. I've got 3 copies of Shieldred. It's just because you have to.
You have to.
Yeah, you really do.
I'm kind of wondering if, like, because everybody is running so much Shieldred, if the Spiteful Hexmage is going to be the next card that everyone just runs absurd amount of copies of.
Could be.
That's ability, but it makes her less It makes her not a good blocker at all. But
is that card the end standard playable? I can't remember.
Kind of, yeah. I think it's good, but I don't think that's the 4-mana instant.
Yeah.
Costs 2 for life. Exile target creature. Search its library hand too. I think.
Yeah, I think you search everywhere.
You search everywhere. It's one of those kind of effects. I don't know what those kind of effects are called, but they're really, really good.
Yeah, I think
I saw no one running it because it's better to just run Shieldred.
I guess that makes sense.
Then if they use the end on your Shieldred, then what are they going to have 4 copies of the end in their deck, and they're just going to take out entire play sets of I don't know. At that point, you're just running way too much interaction, which sounds like a weird thing to say, but
no, I agree. Dimir midrange, which is top deck in the meta right now, in my opinion, doesn't really run Shieldred post sideboard, if I'm understanding it correctly, because it expects you to just load up with Go for the Throats and all that, so it just runs the lower end creatures and tries to tempo you. I don't know. It's interesting, the strategies that people are coming up with to kind of deal with these cards.
Oh my god, I was going to say something and I just completely blanked. I'm sorry.
It happens to me all the time. Don't worry about it.
I think I was going to say that's why a lot of Dimir mid-range decks, at least on like Magic Online, are slowly running less and less Shieldred.
Yeah. That is absolutely correct.
There's a lot less people on Magic Online copy paste decks. They'll just buy and build their own, because you are buying your own decks. So you'll see people just run like 1 Shieldred or 2 Shieldreds, and then a lot of Urtai, at least in the mirror matchups. Even new Shieldred, the what is it, the 5-mana Shieldred?
Yeah.
I've seen people run 2 Apocalypse and 2 Shieldreds.
I have seen that too. I know Esper Legends is running it now.
Yeah.
But really quickly, I wanted to talk about just the one deck I want to highlight, which is Jund Value, just kind of as a possible competitor. The Tyvar Shell is something that I got excited about when Tyvar got released. I was always thinking about ways to make the Tyvar Shell pull out the most value, and I think cards like Bloodtithe Harvester help with that. There's probably a whole lot of other ideas in here as well, but I just want to sing the praises of a couple of cards really quickly. Mosswood Dread Knight, I'm going to call the MVP of the night for me personally in the decks that I ran in. You get a lot of value out of this card. I mean, this card, if you watch the matches between me and the Dark Stream, this card single-handedly beats me because I have no way of permanently removing it. So he just keeps getting value and value and value. And with the deck that he likes to put it in, it was too much. Golgari, it was just too much. So Golgari might be a thing as well. But I like this shell because, you can fit in this new card, Decadent Dragon, Adventure Spell. This isn't quite Goldspan Dragon, but it tries to come close. It's like Goldspan's brother. And, you get a little bit of value out of that instant as well, being able to play the top 2 cards for your opponent's library. And then I found towards the end, somebody beat the crap out of me with this card, Gruff Triplets. This card was insane. Just being able to get so much value out of this one high mana creature. I don't know. I slipped one in the Jund deck just to see as a top end card what it would do, and we won a few matches with it. So I don't know. There's some value in Jund. There always is. I think that's just one color scheme that Wizards has signed a contract with Satan to make sure always has power is Jund in every set, every format. There will be a Jund deck somewhere. But that's my take. In any case, let me know in the comments what you are expecting to build week 1 in Arena or, in paper, whatever. If you're playing Standard, I know I say Arena because that's mostly where Standard is played nowadays. But yeah, what are you planning to build? Are there any final thoughts that you have for the folks at home? Optimal.
Regarding Standard or just
anything? Yeah, just overall. Your impressions of Wilds of Eldraine, early access, anything that we've talked about.
Well, as I said, early access is a lot of fun. If you're a content creator and you're interested in getting involved, definitely send an email to the Wizards team about it and see if you can get involved. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
or join the Rebellion Discord and DM me.
I don't know how if we were allowed to promote that or not. Thank you, TV, for cutting in and saying that.
Otherwise, I don't personally. I don't have to focus on Standard at the moment until about January, when the RCQ season is Standard. Right now, it's mostly Modern focus for me, but I'll probably stream a bunch of Standard as well because Modern kind of sucks right now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be it for me at the moment. Just a bunch of arena moving forward for the next while. Prepping myself, I guess, for when the RCQ season starts. And what's the set after Wilds? It's
Ixalan, I think.
Ixalan. Oh gosh.
Ixalan, and then
yeah,
Cowboy set after it.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys set after that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That whole set's gonna end up leaking on TikTok any day now.
You know it is.
I thought the Cowboys set was after Markov.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah.
I think Markov Manor's like a tiny thing, isn't it? Isn't it like a
small? It's like a small winter set. I think.
Okay.
Like a January set.
All weird.
Did everyone just forget about Markov Manor?
Yeah, they did. So when it releases, everybody's going to be like, "Oh, product fatigue."
No, I agree this time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit coming out.
There is.
Much shit.
Could you imagine also playing Commander with all the stuff coming out every month? This is a lot.
It's crazy because it's. I think the biggest problem. Oh my god, how did we get onto this? The biggest problem with product fatigue in 30 seconds is less. Is Wizards of the Coast needs to stop releasing a commander side set or precons with every standard set.
I agree.
Or every set in general, and I think they should just release 3 or 4 huge commander sets a year, and then problem solved. Let the commander players buy whatever set or singles they want to buy, and stop tacking on commander sets to literally everything. It's over flooding the product market with so much stuff.
This last I don't know if you saw this, but this last Dimir Fairies commander set for Wilds of Eldraine is almost the exact same cards as the one from Masters Commanders. Commander Masters.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But anyway, I don't want to delve too much into that.
I was just looking it up here. It's so the beginning of 2024 will be the murders at Carlock Manor, then it'll be Outlaws of Thunder Junction, then Bloomburrow, and then Duskmourn.
Oh god, Duskmourn. Okay. Oof. Yeah. All right, TB, you got any? I know you just said all that, but do you have any final thoughts for us?
Yes, I do. If the biggest piece of drafting advice I could give going into this set, for the love of God, treat it like Cube. Drafting this set, especially with how wide everything is, it feels like you're drafting Cube with a weird bonus sheet of enchantments thrown in. Rakdos Rats is playable and forceable in limited and standard. If you're not sure on where to really go, just try that. Draft any card with Lord Skitter in the name and you'll be fine. Yeah, that's it, I guess. There's not a lot of value in this set either. Don't try to rare draft or anything. I don't know. It's fun. I always like playing these early access events, and I told the people who run these and some other friends at WotC that this set feels the direction they took with this set in terms of how wide it is and what's playable needs to be how it is going forward, which is it felt so fun. I think all 3 of us can agree. And then last that's the best feeling early access we've probably all played. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Even though Shieldred kind of fucked everything up, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I agree. Most of those sentiments. Thank you, TB. Thank you, Optimal. That's all the time we have for today. From everybody at the MTG Rebellion Rebelcast, don't forget to untap, upkeep, resist. Even my dogs are saying it in the background.
Resist.
Resist. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.